Salutations, my friends. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Yule. 'Tis the season. I don't know what else to say. Welcome back to our 12 days of Christmas with 12 days of painting. This is day number 3. And at the end of our 12 days extravaganza, today we will be doing another Christmas painting tutorial, of course. Today we're going to be painting a girl in a ball gown from behind with a beautiful starry night sky with snow falling and twinkling stars, and it's going to be beautiful. So if you like this painting, please keep watching. Also, don't forget to follow me on my social media, Twitter at LovePrayPaint and Instagram at LovePrayPaint, and also Facebook, and I will have that linked below. So, let's get painting. Oh yes, and I wore this very festive dress today because it's Christmas time, and it's red, and these look like hollies. Anyway, I just thought I'd share. So let's get into the painting. Meow. Alright, let's go through the paint that we will need. Of course, our trusty but rusty titanium white. We will also need crimson red. And this is phthalo blue. We'll be using that for the sky. Okay, and we will also be using yellow ochre for her skin and maybe some of the stars. So let's get painting. That's not all we need. You will also need some paintbrushes, some paper towel, and some water. And you will also need a smile. That was so cheesy. I'm sorry. Okay, so let's get painting. So I've already drawn out our girl here. I will zoom you in so you can watch me paint and you don't have to stare at my face the whole time. But I just wanted to show you this first, and let's get painting. All right, so we are going to start with our phthalo blue. And if you want to mix in a little bit of black with that, you can, just to give the sky more of a dark feeling, or of a night sky. I'm going to be mixing mine with gloss fluid medium. You know the drill. And I will be using this Master Touch 40mm brush. You can use whatever brush you want, but this is just my favorite to get large areas done quickly. Make sure your brush is not too wet. So what you can do is you can like scrape it off on the side of your water jug to get the excess paint off. Hope to God I don't get this on my fancy dress, because that would be so sad. I just love this color. It's so pretty. Maybe we will go in with a tinge of black just to make it nice. And, well, you know what? Maybe we won't. That's a really pretty color. Do you know I love my blue backgrounds? That is my jam. If you watch my channel, you know I love blue. Okay, so we will just keep getting this on here. Probably fast forward this. Make sure you are going from side to side when you are putting your brush strokes down, because we don't want our sky going this way. And if you want me to do a tutorial on how to draw the girl, I can do that in a later video. I did not use a reference photo for her, but the easiest thing to do is to kind of just copy mine. Just go on to either my, I'll have her posted on either my Facebook or my Instagram, or I don't think I'll have her on my Twitter. I don't usually post pictures on Twitter, but sometimes I do, but not normally. So just take a screenshot out of it or whatever you want to do, and you can just copy her. And when you're loading your brush up, don't just like dip your whole brush in there. Kind of like pull it off to the side so you're not wasting so much of your paint. Otherwise you're going to be using a whole lot of paint, which I do anyway. I overuse paint and I know it. I want to actually, like, I see how her dress is kind of going out. I want to make this snow go up on the side of her dress. I know that sounds a little weird, but so I'm going to take this down so when I'm doing the snow, it will look like, it'll look like kind of like a shadow. I can use my blue as a shadow. If that makes any sense to you guys. It'll make the shadow for me when I'm doing the snow. And I am going to have to switch to a smaller brush to do around her. I always like to paint the sides of my canvas. I don't know why. I just, whatever sky or whatever the main color is, I usually go in and do the sides of my canvas. So then since I did that, I want to kind of get rid of those brush marks. See how nice and deep this color is? Isn't that beautiful? It's like a beautiful night sky. Okay. And I'm going to be going in, this is just like a little craft brush, I think, that I have from a long time ago. You can use like any like 3/4 millimeter little brush. Mine's angled, yours can be straight. It doesn't really matter as long as it's like a flat brush. And it's got nice kind of stiff synthetic brushes. And see how I accidentally got this too high up on my brush? If you want your brushes to last, try to only get the pigment like halfway on the brush. Otherwise, you're gonna be buying a lot of new brushes, like I always have to. So we're gonna try to just paint around here. Normally, I would just put the girl on after I get the sky on because that would be better to do it that way. I don't really need to worry about her curls. I don't know why I even drew those in. I was just like feeling festive. I'm like, let me draw her hair blowing in the wind. Kind of like this too. From her bow, I can kind of just paint that in later. Oh, I think this is going to be a really pretty one. I'm very excited about it. You know, you wouldn't think this would be super Christmassy, but could you imagine getting this on a beautiful Christmas card with this girl with her beautiful ball gown sitting outside in the snow? I think that would be fantastic. I would love to get that. You'll probably have to go back in with your bigger brush to kind of smooth out these edges here. So what I want to do now is go back in with our bigger brush and just pull this back over it just because we got all those streaks in there and I don't want them there. If you do, feel free to leave it. I just wanted to be able to get close to her as possible. And with this big old brush, that is not possible. Well, it is possible, I'm sure, but I do not have the skill to do that. So I'm just trying to make it look like we didn't just, that we kind of just painted the whole thing. Anyway, it might be kind of pretty to have this like lighter blue around her anyway, like a highlight. So we'll just leave that and not get too caught up in it. I think what we're gonna do now is work on her dress. And we're gonna be making her dress crimson red. And I think we'll make her bow, her sash, black. So if you have a black color, use that. I'm going to be using the, and I'm sure I'll probably switch. This is the Simply Simmons 3/8 brush. You might want to switch your water out if your water is super blue from painting that other one, from painting the blue, just so you don't get purple instead of red, because this is supposed to be Christmassy. Careful to not get the blue mixed in here if you're not letting this dry. If you're doing this and you're following this tutorial, just pause this and either take a blow dryer or just wait like 10-15 minutes till it dries, till the phthalo blue dries. And you don't have to do that color for this guy either. If you don't have phthalo blue, just use whatever blue that you have. You can mix it with black. I know a lot of people say not to do that, but I like to break the rules. So mix it with black to darken it up, and then you'll have a beautiful dark blue color for your sky. And see how I'm pulling this down and not going across? I want it to give the illusion that her dress is draping out. So sometimes when you make your brush stroke in the direction of the way the dress will be falling, it can create, your brush strokes can create kind of like wrinkles for you in whatever gown or whatever you want to say, whatever garment. See how I'm like pulling it this way now? I'm not all like gonna go this way. And like I said, the reason we do that is we want it to kind of make it look like the gown is sort of falling that direction. And you can go over this a few times if you want. I'm going to add some of this just because this is not, this paint I have is not the best and it doesn't flow very well and it really bothers me. It just like sticks to the canvas and my brush doesn't like slide across the canvas, and I cannot handle that. I need my brush to slide across the canvas. Yes, I do. Okay, and the reason we're working on her dress right now and not the rest of the sky is because I want that to dry a little bit before we go in. You could even paint this dress with that big brush. I just am scared to do that because I am not that good when it comes to like delicate areas. She's going to a really fancy Christmas party, in case you didn't know. It's going to be fabulous. You can always turn your brush on, like if you have one of these brushes, you can always turn it on the side. That's why these angled brushes are so good. And if you have like an area like this that you need to do, you can turn it on its side and kind of even get into like a small area instead of having to like switch your brush. Okay. It's okay if you go over the bow if you're not drawing this, you know, out first. I kind of want to fix her dress a little bit right there, how it's laying. I want it to be like up further, kind of right here. always go back over her dress if you want to darken up the red, which I would recommend. But once again, for time's sake, we're just going to kind of let it go if you did that. Okay, so now we're going to work on her skin. You want to take your yellow ochre. She's going to be super fair, so I'm literally just going to use a drop of this. And this is like my favorite way of doing skin. I know a lot of people, like, you know, some people have cool undertones, so you would use a blue, or some people have warm undertones, so you could use yellow or red, and just a small amount of it, and then your white pigment. I don't do skin like that. I just use yellow ochre and white, and if she's really fair, or if, obviously if I'm painting somebody darker, I would use a darker pigment than yellow ochre. I'd probably go in with my burnt umber and then with white, or you know what I mean. It just depends on who you're painting. This girl, in my mind, is a very fair maiden with skin of alabaster. So I'm gonna start off with my white here, and then I'm gonna just keep adding a little bit of this yellow ochre in. I actually already like what color this is, so I'm probably just gonna use what I have right here. And if you have extra white on there, just brush it off. So I'm gonna take my my white, and I accidentally hit that red with this brush, so I have to switch out my brush now. I'm just gonna take a little kid's crafting brush, and really don't want it to be too white. There, that's more of the color I was looking for. And she's pretty much the color I want her. All right, and then like where she has shadows, you can go in with just the yellow ochre. This is why I like doing this way. You just take like a liner brush, and where she would like have a shadow, you're just gonna line it. I'm having a hard time because I don't want to put my hand on wet paint, obviously. Like she would have, you know, a shadow there, and even if she doesn't have a shadow here, sometimes it's nice just to outline it. This is just something that I like to do so you can see where it cuts off. You know, it kind of plays a trick on the eye. You wouldn't think to outline her, or if that would be a good idea. But to me, I almost always do that. Even if there's a highlight there, I will outline it. It's kind of tricky here because of that red, but it's okay if it gets mixed in, because maybe she has a deeper or a pinkier skin tone. See, that's the hardest thing when you're a painter that has to brace their arm or hand. Like for me, to be steady, I like to brace my arm on, or my hand on something, because otherwise I get very wonky lines like that. And if your line gets away from you, if it gets too thick, just go over it with the white and yellow ochre mixture. I don't want that line that thick, so I'm just gonna go in and tidy it up a bit. Right here, this is way too thick, so I'm just gonna tidy up the line. And it's okay if it mixes in, obviously. And this, you probably want that a little bit thinner. And this right here, a little bit thinner. This brand right here, this Master's Touch, the pigment isn't very strong. I mean, it's good paint. It's not like, well, sometimes it's a little chunky, but you know, you kind of just have to, if you're gonna buy cheaper paint, it's just something you have to deal with. And we're gonna go in with some permanent black for her bow on her dress. Let's do that. Let's make her hair black instead. So she can be like Snow White. Sorry, I just got way too excited over that. Okay, so take your liner brush, and you can just use any smaller brush. You don't have to use a liner brush. And just, oh, well, I guess we're going to her hair. I was going to say we're going to go on her bow, but we didn't. We went on her hair instead. Which is fine. So really you're kind of just coloring this in right now. And we can go in with some like brown or white for highlights if you want. It's not really necessary on a painting like this. It's supposed to be at night anyway. And if you kind of make your brush strokes in the way that her hair would be pulled up, like her hair is up in a bun right here obviously, so we're gonna pull her hair upward. And where her bun is, we'll do a little circle. See, so then it kind of creates like the movement for you and the highlights for you, because some of the bottom of the, you know, of the canvas sort of shines through. So see, doesn't that look pretty? Yeah, I'm glad we left her hair, that we did it black. That looks very pretty. And if you want, kind of make these little tendrils, make sure you don't have too much paint on your brush, kind of coming down. If she had, you know, her hair was kind of falling a little. I think that's really pretty. In the wind, she stares out at the snowy sky, starry sky that we're going to be making. Okay, so now we can work on our bow. And this, I do need to rust my hand, so I'm probably going to get paint all over my hand, but that's fine with me. I always have paint all over my hand, so I am used to it. So we're just gonna do you're just gonna draw 2 circles or ovals or however you want to do this. And then in the middle, you're gonna do 1 little circle. And then here, you're gonna do another little circle. See how easy peasy that is? And for these, you're just literally going to take your brush and pull downward. Probably do better with like a flat brush instead of the liner brush. So if you don't have a liner brush, it's fine. You could just use a smaller brush for this painting. Keep making our little... This paint is the worst. It like does not go across the canvas whatsoever. Oh, it is aggravating. And no matter how much water or how much fluid put on it, it's like I could never figure out if it was the paint or the brush, and then I realized it's the frickin' paint. And I kept thinking it was the brush and thinking it was the brush. Turns out wasn't the brush. Anyway, I'm just gonna try to, well, I'm gonna just leave that. And then we'll just go back in with our red and fix up those lines. Plus we have to repaint the rest of that again because the pigment, like I said, is not good on this. So hopefully you're using something like Liquitex or Golden is another really good brand. They're kind of a little too pricey for me, like when I'm just painting these and not selling them. If I was selling them, I would paint with Golden, but if you're not getting your return back, I just, unless you're trying to keep the painting for yourself for years, I wouldn't, honestly, wouldn't bother buying something so expensive. Like, you know, if you're a professional painter, yes, of course, buy expensive paint because you're selling it, and the better paint, the more it's worth, in my opinion. The better the pigment, the better the painting will just be. Trying to get around this without having to use that annoying liner brush, which we're going to have to use. Or I'm going to have to use. If you can get around that stuff, God bless your heart, but I can't. And I don't like saying I can't at all. So we're just kind of filling in around the bow right now where we have spots. Nobody wants spots of white on their painting, right? So what you can do is you can mix your pigment with white, or because the titanium white has such a good pigment on it, you can mix it with any color and make the color brighter, but the thing then is that you'll have to go over it with the color again anyway, because you're going to be lightening your color. That makes any sense? Which I'm sure it probably does. And also using a different kind of brush can help. But I want, for like the first time ever, I actually want these brush marks, because it looks like the dress is kind of billowing, and it creates the highlight and the shadow for you, like with using the brush strokes. So I want those there. Okay, so I think that this is good. We'll start working on this now. I think this looks like it's wet still. It is. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna flip my plate upside down so I don't waste. And we're going to do some more splat painting. I know you guys are probably like, geez Louise, I'm sick of that. But you know what? Freaking love it. I love splatter painting. It is the funnest thing ever. Either use craft paint, or you're going to want to get something like glass fluid medium, or you can just use water. That works okay. I like to use glass fluid medium and water, so I don't have to buy like extra paint. I do like easy flow paint better than I like heavy body paints, but I feel like heavy body paints are, if you do like the golden ones, those are extremely I don't know what the hell I'm talking about or why I'm talking about that. Okay, so we're going to take our little toothbrush and we're going to do like we did yesterday and the day before, and make our little snow flakes. And I'm going to try to not get it on her so much, just because I kind of just want to keep this on the background. And the smart thing to do would be to do this before you paint your girl in, so you don't get this on her. And if you get too close, you get those globs. And if you have too much paint, you get those globs. So if you're trying to like these, I'm not going to worry about them too much, because I'm going to be painting on little stars anyway. So I can always just cover mine up. But the reason I'm not trying to go like far away is because I really don't want this on her. I don't want to get too carried away. I think that's good. So we can do our stars now. I'm going to do two different kinds of star, well, not two different kinds, but two different colors. I'm going to do, well, there goes that cap, and I'm not going to get it. I'm going to do yellow, ochre, and white, just because I love how phthalo blue and yellow ochre look together. I think that is like such a winning color combination. I love it. All right, so what you're going to do to make your stars is you're going to load up your little brush, and you're going to make an X, X, And they don't have to be perfect. Don't worry if they're not perfect. And then a line. You can just do XX line. XX line. And if you want to be really festive, you can put another line. So we're just going to put those all over the canvas. As many as you want. They don't have to be perfect. Just, they're stars. They're not perfect. Not all of them, at least. So they can be bigger, smaller, whatever size you want. So X, X, and then a line in the middle. Or you can start with a line and then X, X. So we're just gonna make some of these little stars. I don't know if they're snowflakes or if they're shining stars. I just like them. Some down here. I don't want to put them too low because that's just going to be weird if they're too low. I mean, why would there be a star way down there? Yeah, just kind of place them any which way and wherever you want. Big, small, medium, doesn't matter. Just put them on there. Then we can clean off our brush and then go into our yellow ochre. And this color, I honestly think this is my favorite color combination ever. A little yellow ochre and that phthalo blue. I don't know what it is about that. It just looks so pretty to me. And if you want to use a different color yellow, you don't have to use yellow ochre. It's not everybody's favorite, but, and you can go over these if you want with, I think would be really cool and kind of make them look like they're super shiny, is going over them with like cadmium yellow. I'm not going to do that because once again I'm short on time, like always. It wouldn't be one of my videos if I wasn't in a rush. I gotta stop procrastinating during the day when I'm making these and just make them right away. That's what I do. I like sit and I procrastinate like all day. I like will just like go on social media and kind of just do like chores and like, I'll get on there later. And then I never get on there. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 1 o'clock, I better make my video. Okay, so now that we have our stars on here, I think we have enough. We are gonna work on our snow. Where the hell did that go? So this is gonna seem silly. This is an old makeup brush. It's a Sonia Kashuk brush. But this thing is great for making clouds or snow. They do make paint brushes like this, but they usually have like a flat top. I like this one better because it's tapered and you can, it scrubs away the paint better. If that makes any sense. Probably not, but I like how dense it is and it's synthetic. So it ends up working out really well. So you're going to take some titanium white on the brush and you're going to kind of make little circles. And you're just going to scrub in the snow. See how cool is that? Doesn't this brush work awesome for that? And if you were making clothes, could you imagine how wonderful this would be? So we're just kind of scrubbing in our snow. Okay, so you can just kind of hope to God it's not wet over here. And it's okay if it is because we can just go over it again with our white. Well, I'm just going to dip the tip of the brush in that and make little swirling motions. And you want this a little bit transparent because it's going to create the shadow for you. You don't want this red on there though. So wait till yours dries so you don't have that same problem. And now I'm going to go back in and go over this red color because I don't want red snow. You want red snow, that's fine, but I certainly don't. And so just kind of scrub your little heart away. Don't cover up all of her dress. Plus, I don't want the snow going any higher because then it's going to defeat the purpose of having the girl in the dress. Okay, so I think I'm just going to call it quits for now, and then I'll fix her later. So, yes. She is pretty much done. This is our final painting. Thank you so much for hanging out with me during this 12 days of Christmas, and don't forget that there will be a giveaway at the end of the 12 days of Christmas, and just thank you so much for hanging out with me and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye! Mwah! Why do I keep doing that?
I'm ready to rock and roll. Really? Oh my god, I sound crazy.
I'm dying. I'm dying. I don't know if any of you care, but I'm dying right now. What's my good side? This is my good side. What's my face? This way. My eyes are watering so bad right now. Salutations, my friends. Today we will be, hello. Salutations, my friends. We will be having a giveaway. I sound like Oprah. We will be having a giveaway. So, today we are going to be doing the cha-cha-cha. I feel so cute today. Sorry if my mannerisms are a little off. I'm just like feeling so fabulous.